Parenting, it really isn't about having perfect answers. It really is about having these conversations that shape the way our kids see the world, how they see themselves, and how they see God. And as they're growing into adults who become more like Him, how we're coming alongside of them in and with these conversations to help shape their hearts to be more like Christ. Hi, I'm Sarah Short, your host of the No Way But Through podcast. This is your weekly one-stop shop for all things mom. How to parent through those exhausting days with your little ones, how to be intentional and connected with your big kids, and how to embrace what truly matters and let go of the rest. From life with a newborn to toddlers to teenagers and everything in between, I'll teach you foundational and practical strategies on how to walk through every season of motherhood with courage and creativity, all while prioritizing your relationships with your kids in a home life where all of you can thrive. My Nana once told me, there's no way but through. Turns out she was right in life and in motherhood. So come along with me as we become better moms together. This is the No Way But Through podcast. Hey y'all, welcome back into the No Way But Through podcast. Today I'm launching season 5 of this podcast, and I'm so excited to be back here with you guys again with a brand new season that I am really looking forward to and really excited about for me and for you guys. I have taken the last several months off from this podcast and from the work I do over here at No Way But Through. It's so important to me that I do that, and I do it really intentionally. If there's anything that I've said over and over on this podcast over the last 2 years, it's that my family is my priority. Spending time with them is my favorite thing to do. And now that I have 2 college kids that don't live here anymore at home, it's really important to me that when they are back, when they're on breaks from school over the summer, that I get a good extended time with them and that they are my focus, and I give as much time to my family as I can. I really love the family time that we get over the summer. And then in August, I launched my 2 college kids out into the world again. One of them moved out for the first time. The other, we moved back to college. They are both now in their own apartments. Y'all, I have 2 adult kids who don't live here anymore, which is still so wild to me every time I think about it. But a really sweet summer, got my kids launched. And now, the beginning of October, ready to get back into podcasting and spending time with you guys over here on No Way But Through. So as I was thinking about what I really wanted to do this season on the podcast, one thing kept coming to my mind again and again, and it really relates to the question that I get asked the most whenever I'm with young moms, when I'm with moms of elementary kids, or even sitting around talking with my peers about our own kids, tweens, teens, adult kids. And it sounds something like this. Sarah, how do you talk to your kids about fill in the blank? There is so much out there, so much help to be had for having the talk, right? The talk about their changing bodies and puberty and sex. But what about all the other stuff? The not so little conversations we're having day in and day out, the conflicts, the hard friendship questions about our culture, our kids' phones and screen time, about the music that they're listening to, what's on TV. What about all of those conversations? And a lot of times a mom will come to me and say, Sarah, how do you talk to your kids about screen time? How do you talk to your kids about the music that they're listening to that you don't really love? What about TV? What about hard world news? Oftentimes, these conversations sneak up on us and we don't know what to say or we're not ready. One of our kids gets backstabbed by a friend, or they make a huge mistake and we've got to figure it out with them. Or we're in some kind of world crisis and they want to come to us and say, Mom, how do I handle this? How am I supposed to think about this? We then aren't sure what to say, or we handle it totally wrong, or we don't realize it until after the fact when our kids are walking away with their shoulders slumped, or they storm away and slam the door. If you're a mom of tiny ones, maybe it's when you realize you've just gotten through talking to them about something like they stole the chocolate chips out of the pantry again and then lied about it. And you're trying to figure out, how am I going to get through to my kid who keeps lying to me? How can we have these conversations with our kids and leave a lasting impact? How can we approach conversations well? Well, this season, that's what I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share with you how we talk with our kids about a whole range of topics: chores, screen time, their failures, comparison, grades, lying. Nothing is off limits this season, and I want to help give you phrases and words and approaches to these topics. The important thing above everything else is that you're having these conversations with your kids, even your little tiny ones. So I'm going to pull back the curtain on how I talk with my kids. Not perfectly, not polished, but honestly. Parenting, it really isn't about having perfect answers. It really is about having these conversations that shape the way our kids see the world, how they see themselves, and how they see God. And as they're growing into adults who become more like Him, how we're coming alongside of them in and with these conversations to help shape their hearts to be more like Christ. You'll hear how we talk with our kids about things, just like I mentioned, like chores or honesty, about their friendships, about hard stuff that they're going through. Each episode in this season will focus on one topic: how we talk with our kids about fill in the blank. I'll share real stories from our home life, past and present, phrases that work, and thoughts to help you in your own conversations with your kids. There are 4 things I want to share with you today about this series before we kick it off next week. Number 1, none of this is prescriptive. I'm going to share with you how we talk with our kids about these things over here. Maybe you'll agree, maybe you won't. You may agree with parts of what I share and not others. This is absolutely good and how it should be. There is not one right way to parent anything. You have heard me say that over and over and over again these last 2 years. It should be that way. There is not one right way to parent anything, including how you approach conversations with your kids, what you want them to know, how you disciple and train them. You get to choose because you are your kids' parents. So feel free this season to take what works for you from how we do things over here in the conversations we have, and then leave the rest. Number 2, I want you to notice the phrasing of this series. This series is not how we talk to our kids. It's how we talk with our kids. And this is so important. Our kids are created in the image of God. They are worthy of our respect, and they have inherent dignity simply because they reflect a divine image, the image of God. I grew up in a house where do what I say, not as I do, was often the model. When we treat our kids, even our youngest kids, as fellow humans, distinctly and uniquely created by the same loving God who made us, that should inform how we talk with them, the tone that we use, the way we hold our relationship with them as valuable and worthy of our respect and honor, even when it isn't returned. We, as parents, we get to be a reflection of Christ to our kids, which often looks like they reject our wisdom and want to do things their own way, just like we do. We are all on the same road, us and our kids. We're just a little bit further down the road than they are. So this framework, talking with our kids, not at our kids or to our kids, will bear more fruit, have more impact, and ultimately preserve and grow the closeness that you want to have with your kids long term. So the phrasing in this series matters. It's how we talk with our kids, not to or at our kids. Number 3, we have 2 goals when our kids walk away from conversations with us. And this is from the time that they're very, very little to now as adults. We want our kids to feel safe and hopeful. Safe and hopeful. Safe because we want them to be able to come to us with anything and know that they will be met with love, help, listening ears, patience, and support. We don't want our kids to feel like they have to keep things from me and Jason because it's just too scary to tell mom and dad. God beckons us to come to him with all of our sin, all of our struggles, and all of our questions. And we as parents, we get to be a reflection, albeit a broken one, but a reflection nonetheless of God's deep love and care and openness towards our kids. And when they walk away from conversations with me and Jason, we want them to feel hopeful too. Why? Because in every scenario of our lives, we have hope in Christ. His love saved us. His forgiveness reaches for us. Our sin and our sorrows and our mess ups, our questions, they are safe with God because nothing can ever separate us from his love, and that gives us ultimate hope. So as parents, we get to point our kids over and over to God as we share our wisdom, as we disciple them, encourage them, challenge them, listen to them, and help them find a path forward that honors God first and us second. And number 4, lastly, please hear me on this. You are the best person to disciple your kids. No one loves them like you do. No one else sees their sin and mistakes like you do. No one else has daily access to them like you do. These conversations, this is your golden opportunity. These 18 plus years are yours to pour into them, to have conversations with them about any and everything, to be their safe and hope-filled place to land with all of it. What I want this series to do is to make you more confident that you can have these conversations, even the really hard ones, about hard topics, and do so in a way that will have a lasting impact on your kids. Parents, listen as I say this. If you aren't discipling your young kids, the TV will. If you aren't discipling your tweens, YouTube will. If you aren't discipling your teenagers, their phones and friends will. All of you lose if you outsource your kids' discipleship. There is no substitute for you. Do you need people to come alongside you? Yes, of course. You need that. You need community around you and your kids to encourage you, support you, love your kids, even help you see things at times that you may be blind to. But you cannot outsource these conversations to your kids' Christian school, to grandparents, to your kids' youth leaders at church, to their teachers or some other trusted friend. There is no substitute for you as their parents. You get the opportunity to have these conversations with your kids throughout the 18 years that they're living in your home and continuing into adulthood. So I want to encourage you today to embrace this opportunity. And as we go through this season, talking about different topics, and as I explain to you how we talk with our kids about a whole host of things, I hope it really encourages you to have these conversations with your kids as well. So, 4 things. None of this is meant to be prescriptive, just helpful. Take what works for you, leave the rest. 2, talk with your kids, not to them and not at them. Of course, sometimes I say, I'm talking to my kids about this or that, but you get what I'm saying, right? This posture of talking with your kids as you approach conversations will help soften their hearts to hear you. And y'all, it will soften your heart to hear them. It honors the image of God in both or all 3 of you and sets up a pattern that will last into their adult years. As a mom of 2 adult kids now, I can promise you they don't want to be talked at or talked to, but they are always open to mom and dad talking with them about anything. Number 3, I'll help you think about what it practically looks like to leave conversations with your kids with them feeling safe and hopeful. They need all the teaching and correcting in your conversations. But if they know they will leave conversations with you feeling both safe and hopeful, they will want to come to you. And isn't that what we all want? Number 4, don't outsource your kids' discipleship. You should be, you get to be the primary person speaking into their lives and helping them work through whatever it is they're facing in life. What an honor, right? There is no substitute for you. I'd really love this season to feel like a conversation between friends. Me as a mom and you as moms and dads too, where we're sharing how we're handling different situations and learning from one another. After you listen to each episode, come share how you talk with your kids about that topic. Tag me, send a DM, leave a comment. I'll be posting all of this over on No Way But Through on Instagram, and I'd love to feature your thoughts or phrases in future episodes or on Instagram as well. I know you won't always parent the way I am, and vice versa, but we can still learn from each other because the truth is, there's no one right way to do this parenting thing. There's just no way but through, right? So let's do it together. So excited to share this season with you. See y'all next time for the first episode in this new series, How We Talk with Our Kids About Real Life Stuff. See y'all next time on the No Way But Through podcast. You've just listened to another episode of the No Way But Through podcast. If you want to connect with other like-minded moms and join our growing online community, head on over to Instagram and follow along with us at No Way But Through. You can always reach me over there throughout the week. And if you'd like to financially support this podcast, there's a link at the bottom of every episode where you can do just that.